I know it just seems like one big run-on sentence, but it's actually a podcast. Here's what's coming up on The Nice Guys today.
Welcome to The Nice Guys. Blah.
All right, let's roll. You ready, Julianne?
I am so ready to have fun with The Nice Guys.
Never convicted of a felony. Yet. But they keep on trying. It's The Nice Guys on Business. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, Funkit fans. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. And we got a friend of Doug's on today. So why don't you talk about her, Doug?
I know I don't have a lot of friends, but Ann Sullivan actually is a friend of mine. Every once in a while, I run into somebody that I friend, and Julianne was one of those people. She's genuinely a nice person, and she's a little bit of a stalker. So between the two things, I felt like it was important for me to probably be a friend of hers. But you know what's really cool about Julianne? She's a certified laughter leader. Have you ever heard of that?
Certified laughter leader. That's a good one. I'm going to look into that.
I didn't realize how funny that Julianne was until she actually started talking. That she actually is pretty funny. She's pretty funny. Yeah, she's a professional speaker. I met her through the C-Suite Radio Network, and she actually has a show on the network as well. And so she's a podcaster, has 2 podcasts. She is like I said, a professional speaker, and she's a trainer, and she does all sorts of great stuff, business consulting, and she proves that there is some profitability in humor. And so I'm like, I need to hear more. I want to know more about how this works. So she came on the show. We shared some information about her business and about her speaking career. And again, very cool interview with Julianne today.
How does she have time to do 2 podcasts? We barely have time to do 1.
I don't know. I probably do. I can't remember if I talked about how she has time management. I don't think she seems to be very, she seems to have a lot of time on her hands. Maybe she's independently wealthy like you.
Like me. Yeah, right.
Anyway, why don't we get to the interview? Before we do that, though, really quick, just want to mention, if you're listening on Overcast, just take a quick moment, recommend all the episodes that are in your little player there. Just hit the gold star button. Also, we have many reward levels that we have set up at patreon.com/nice guys. We'll make sure we put a link in the show notes, how to contribute to the show. It's amazing what you could do for like 10 or 20 bucks a month. Amazing. If we're entertaining you, and we know we're entertaining a bunch of you. So if you're listening, I see you driving in that Mercedes-Benz. We know you can afford the 10 bucks a month to be one of our Patreon patrons. So do us a favor, just join up, patreon.com/nice guys, and thanks for ahead of time, because we know that you're going to do it. All right,
$20 a month. I'd be happy with $1 or $2 a month.
No, I'm going to shoot for the big guns. I figure as long as they're not going to contribute, they may as well not contribute when I ask for $10.
Okay, good. Sounds like a plan.
That way they could be pleasantly surprised if they go to Patreon and actually discover that we have levels other than just $10. We do have that coveted $1,500 a month position. Mm-hmm. You saw that one, right?
Well, that's like more of a one-shot. I mean, if you want to do $1,500 a month every month, that's fine. But I'd be okay with it as a one-shot, and we'll come and have lunch with you.
Do they have just a one-shot deal? That was one of the things that we were troubled with, the fact that people don't want to contribute on a regular basis, but they would be okay making a one-time contribution. Can they do that?
No, that was like a PayPal thing. I don't think they can do that. But come on.
Well, you said I thought you said $1,500. So what you're saying is contribute the $1,500 in like July, but then don't do it, but cancel before you get to August.
Exactly, and we'll come out and see you, and we'll have lunch with you, and it's worth it. It's worth every penny. We'll record an episode with you too. It'll be fun.
We do want to make sure the money clears the account first. I mean, we're kind of weird that way.
And we hope you live somewhere interesting, so we can come and see you wherever it may be.
Well, the issue though, Strick, if they pay $1,500 and we go and visit them and we have lunch with them and we let them record an episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to spend most of the $1,500 doing that.
So, it'd be fun. Maybe we'll get to go to Dubai.
Oh, no, that would cost way more than $1,500.
Yeah, probably would. Yeah.
Well, you can go to Dubai. Do you have a valid passport?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go to Dubai. Would you like to do the remote interview from there?
Sure, why not? What the hell?
Yeah, it's Strick. Out of the 400 and some odd or 300 and some odd interviews, have you conducted any on your own yet?
Yeah, I did 2, I think.
Yeah. I think you've done 2 more interviews than I've done editing of the podcast. So I'm not sure why I'm making fun of you, because you could just point right back at me. That's right. All right. Anyway, let's get to the interview with Ann Sullivan. We are the Nice Guys on Business podcast, proud to be affiliated with the C-Suite Radio Network. Let's get to the interview. Funkin' fans, we have finally found the ultimate stalker. Yes, but at least today's guest, Ann Sullivan. She's funny about it. Professional speaker and certified laughter leader. Lord, is there really a certification for a certified laughter? Jesus Christ. Welcome, Ann, to the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
I'm so excited.
I when we originally set this thing up, it was because you had me in a headlock. I could not get out. You're a pretty convincing woman, I must say,
Tenacious.
Ann. Tenacious. That's very good. Very, very tenacious. Ann, so right before we opened up the microphone and started this, you dropped a couple of bombshells on me, and you reminded me of my interview with Connie Fife, the former CEO of the Girl Scouts, and you almost said she's got nothing on you because you want to talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll also, and you want to talk about some arrests in your past. So Ann, where are we going to start? I'm excited about this.
I don't really know. I remember once I had to get cleared by the FBI because I was on a school board, and I found myself going to the superintendent and saying, not sure this is going to work. Just want to let you know ahead of time.
Oh boy.
But it worked fine.
Are you saying that the FBI would not clear you for security clearance or for even a job working around small children? What is it, Ann?
Well, the FBI has to clear you. You have to be clear.
Yeah.
Period of anything. So I wasn't sure if my former arrest had show up. Like, I wasn't convicted of anything ever. Mm-hmm.
But arrested. What were you arrested for, may I ask?
Which time?
This is going to be really good.
Are we ever going to get to entrepreneurship?
Probably probably not.
Anyway, I was arrested for protesting the war in Vietnam in San Diego, California.
What year was that about?
Probably early 70s, 71, something like that.
I consider someone that is arrested for protesting, I would consider that probably one of the most peaceable type of arrests that you could possibly have. It wasn't like you were breaking and entering or grand theft auto or...
No. Delivering drugs to children, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Well, so how quickly did you get out? Did your parents have to come and bail you out?
Well, actually, that particular time, my mom was out of town, so my stepbrother came to get me.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom ever knew about that.
Wow. So yeah. I asked Connie the same question, and I'll ask you too now that we're going into the you've been arrested portion of your life. Do you have any tattoos?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So, Nice Guy community, you would not know this to know Ann just through meeting her and speaking to her.
And it's someplace where everyone can see it all the time.
No kidding. I would not know this.
See how unaware you are?
Julie, I thought I was a very aware type of person. Well, no, obviously I'm not very aware.
Obviously not. It's right on my wrist.
I didn't notice it. What do you have?
It says B-E.
Nice. And is it just for your state of mindfulness, or tell me what?
Exactly.
Nice.
Because, as human beings, and especially in business, we just, oh my gosh, we either get, what didn't I do today? Or we're into what's going to happen next week, next month, by the end of the year. And it's like, it's all going to be different once you get there. Just stay, what's going on right now? Yep. So it's a constant reminder. I thought about it for a long time before I did it, and my son actually got it for me as a Christmas present. I think
it's a great state of just keeping you aware. Actually, the word "be" just does keep you aware. As long as you understand what life is really all about. I mean, what are the things that push your buttons? What are the things that really drives you to do what you do? Because we all have this state of crazy as an entrepreneur, and you have the same level of crazy. You just take it in a different direction sometimes, probably. But what is it that drives you to continue going about what you do every day in spite of the enormous amount of rejection that we all have in our lives? How do you get through it?
I don't have any rejection.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
you are like
and
the queen.
my nose is growing.
You are totally the queen of bullshit right now because we chat
Got
about
your boots on, baby.
Well, we chat about this all the time. It's just like, how do you get beyond where you are and get through this rejection and all of the stuff and still maintain a positive attitude? Because I know you are always Miss Positive. How do you do that?
Well, it's really kind of twofold. First of all, I have a mission in life, and my mission is to change the world one person at a time. That's my goal. So when I go and speak, I could speak to hundreds of people, thousands of people. Doesn't matter. If I have one person who comes up to me and says, man, I needed to hear that today, I'm good.
Yeah.
I am so good because I touched that one person. Now, obviously there are other people out there that are happy. Otherwise, I would never work again. But
right.
So that's the one thing. The other thing is, I feel very blessed right now on my table in the other room. I have 4 cards out there that people have written me about a difference I've made in their life. Mm-hmm. And I constantly get those. I mean, I don't have truckloads coming in, but I appreciate every single one. So whether it's a post on Facebook, I just posted a picture of me in a Wonder Woman t-shirt with a cape when I went to see the movie.
Yeah. And
somebody posted on Facebook, well, you're more fun than her. And I thought, that is so nice.
Well, it's true. You have such a pleasant disposition and such a pleasant, engaging personality that
you obviously weren't my son.
Well, maybe from a whole different perspective. Yeah. It depends on who you are to whom you are that person.
Yeah.
But
I am.
And what's so challenging though is, and I don't know if you're this type of person, but I love those notes too. Every once in a while I will get an email or a note or a gift or something from somebody in the mail or just a phone call to say, hey, I just wanted to say thanks.
I sent them to you.
And you've sent me some nice things also, so thank you very much. I tend to be the guy that focuses with 100 positive things. I tend to focus on, well, I did remember that negative comment, and I tend to dwell on that more than I should. And I don't know how to get myself out of it. Yeah, I don't know if it's something that
I can tell you.
Oh, okay, share because I think there's a lot of us that probably deal with the same issue.
Well, first of all, I saw a wonderful speaker at NSA once, and he was a doctor of something. I don't remember what, which is probably embarrassing for him. But anyway, he talked about the fact that our brains are wired to go negative.
Really?
And that we need to accept that instead of fight it. The trick is that we have 60 seconds to move in another direction. Now, for many of us, unfortunately, that means solve the big problem. But that's not what it means. It means even just being aware of it. And then that is moving in a different direction. So when you have these negative ideas coming into your head, the fact that you recognize that is a move in a more positive direction. And it all has to do that. The way to really do it is not what happens in the moment. It's all the work you do beforehand. So I have.
All right, explain that, because I was thinking you were about to say it's not what happens to you in the moment, it's what you do afterwards. It's your reaction to the problem. But what you're telling me is it's the stuff that you do in the setup. So help me with that.
Okay, so it's the setup because you have nothing to do. You have no tools to use when the moment comes if you don't do some preparation work.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm sitting at my desk right now, and to the left of me on the wall is a 4-foot by 4-foot smiley face.
Mm-hmm.
I can, okay, it's huge.
Right, okay, I believe you.
I can actually see that from my bed.
Okay.
Now, all around my house, I live in about 900 square feet, and I probably have several hundred pictures, posters, hangings, toys, all these different things in my house that either make me more positive, make me laugh, make me smile. Every day before I go to bed, I find a video to watch that will make me laugh.
All right. I like this.
Right?
Right.
So it's all this work that I do so that when I get into that hole, I don't have to look far to understand that there's so much I have to be grateful for. There's so much funny going on in the world. Yesterday, we had a huge electric storm here. This isn't really about me personally, but it's another thing. And we had a strike of lightning, like right here.
Yeah.
Like right. I thought my neighbor's garage was going to burn down.
Okay.
And there was a bunny rabbit, and it must have had quite a concussion because it was pretty near.
Right.
And it just laid there for a while, and I thought it was dead. But there was no smoke coming out of it. So I watched it for a while.
Smoking bunny.
Smoking bunny. I watched it for a while and then I hopped away. And so I got really happy about the fact that it didn't die.
Okay, right.
Look at it either way. I will tell you, I went through a horrible time in my life about 4 years ago. I really lost about a year and a half. I always say I wasn't of right mind. It was a tough time. And I remember sitting on the couch and sobbing and saying, I don't think I can do this.
When you say do this, you mean life, or do you mean
life?
Yeah.
I don't think
I get that.
do this career.
Right,
I don't think I could. I don't think I can. I don't think I'm going to succeed. And I was really, really upset. But because of all the pre-work I've done, I'll call it, after about a minute, a little voice in my head said, how long are you going to do this? Like, are you going to do this for 20 minutes? Are we going to bed for a couple of days?
Right,
like,
okay.
Where's this at? Just let me know. And just hearing that voice was funny.
Right. You know who that voice is for me? That voice oftentimes is my mom, because I can hear those. Okay, well, you had a good cry. let's get on with your fucking life at this point. All right.
Yeah, move on.
Right.
Absolutely. So I think that it's now. Let me also say the last time I got in a hole, as I call it, I have a huge sign on my wall. It's kind of written on my wall, and it's pretty big, probably 4 feet high, and it says, "It's not about the pursuit of happiness, but rather being happy in the pursuit."
Yes. Yeah.
And so I walk by it like 1,000 times a day. I didn't see that for days. So even though you do all this prepared work, everyone's going to get in that hole sometime and stay there for a while. And I think that's okay too. Sometimes we just need to do that.
It sounds like part of it is really exercising that happy. I want to call it the happy muscle, but it doesn't sound too good. You got to exercise that happy muscle, and it's a challenge to do because I think a lot of people just get so caught up in the day-to-day drudgery. And they like what they do, but they're so damn busy at what they do. And like right now, I'm at a point in my life where I'm at nonstop breakneck speed, and I'm trying to figure out how I can find that spot where I was probably about 10 or 12 years ago before my speaking business came, before the podcast happened, but when I was just a weekend warrior doing my DJ business and literally Monday through Friday.
Life was simple.
Life was so much more simple. And how do you get back to that? And part of it is just understanding exactly what you said. You have to be able to exercise that happy muscle and put yourself in a position mentally that when shit happens, when shit hits the fan, because it's going to hit the fan and it's going to hit it a lot.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to bring back that, call up those happy moments.
Well, I have a podcast too, a couple of them, and one of them is called Mere Mortals Unite, and it's about superpowers that we all have. And one of the things I talk about is we have this in us. We must make the deliberate choice, and we need to be accountable. Like, I know now if I'm in a bad spot, that's me.
Yeah.
That's not anyone else's responsibility. I do work with companies on disengagement, and how difficult that is. And you have to make it strategic. It's almost like you have to put on your calendar, going to breathe for 2 minutes.
Hey, when I met up with my daughter probably about 2 years ago when I was having a particularly anxious part of my life going on, she looked at my calendar. She said, give me your phone, looked at my calendar and said, here's part of the problem, Dad. And you've never had this, but you need this now. You've never put any you time in your life.
Yeah.
Or literally write it on your schedule that you're going to take 15 minutes every whatever, once a day, once every, twice a day or whatever, and put it in your schedule so that nothing, and she means nothing, will interfere with that. You got to put time in your schedule for you. And I'm assuming that's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And companies now are, in the state, I have a friend in the State Department, and they actually have a quote unquote quiet room. That's just comfy couches and pillows, and you're not allowed to bring electronics in there.
Well, you have Wegmans where you are, right? Don't you have Wegmans in your part of
No. Oh my God, that's that's a sore subject.
Really, you need a Wegmans where you are.
I've written them many times.
Well,
I even have a Wegmans card in case I'm near a Wegmans.
Well, Wegmans,
I'm serious.
Wegmans has a micro break that they do. They signal.
I know.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they have a workplace break where they actually remind their employees, "Hey, it's time." I mean, when's the last time a company
each department meet in the bakery for a stretch?
Yeah. When's the last time your company told you, hey, it's time to take a mindfulness break, a wellness break. Exactly. Well, and you said something a little bit earlier, and I think it's a little bit easier for us as entrepreneurs to kind of get in that zone of, okay, well, I got to put time in my schedule for me. Okay, I got to put time in my schedule to do something happy, to be there, to make light of what's going on. But let's talk about where most people are in this world, because most people don't work for themselves. They work for other people. How do you control how do you make a happier workplace? How do you control a happier workforce? How do you do that?
Wow. Well, that's my area of expertise.
Yeah, I know.
If you really want to create a happier workplace, it's got to come from the top down. So let's assume that's not happening for many people. And believe me, I talk to so many businesses that are not interested in spending that fluff time. Right. Which I don't even want to go there because, wake up.
Yeah, I agree with you. They don't think that it's right. They think that it's an inefficient use of time.
Yeah, and I could show them so much data to just say you're wrong. In dollars and cents, but that's another conversation. So let's say your listener is working for a company that doesn't care about that. Well, here's things you can do on your own. You could make yourself get up from your desk and go walk somewhere, anywhere for a minute. Mm-hmm. Outside, if it's bad weather, up and down stairs, around the hallways until someone, arrests you for lurking.
Right.
So you could do that. You could even sit at your desk and just concentrate on your breath for 60 seconds. When I do some of my trainings, and even in my keynotes, sometimes I will have the audience sit there for 60 seconds and just breathe.
Seems like an eternity when you're sitting.
An eternity. Right. And what I say to them is, do you deserve a minute a day? And if you don't think you deserve a minute a day, you got a lot more work to do.
Agreed. You mentioned a minute ago about your podcast. Tell the Nice Guy community about now. I know you have 2 podcasts, right? You have 2.
Well, I have one podcast, Mere Mortals Unite, and I have a series on that podcast called Businesses That Care. So Mere Mortals Unite episodes are about, I have guests come on and share their superpowers that everyone has. Maybe they don't know it. Maybe they lost it. Maybe they forgot about it. Maybe they gave it away. And so the guests come on and talk about the superpower, what benefits it has, and then gives the guests some actionable steps they can use to enhance that superpower in their life. And then every other week, I'm doing a series called Businesses That Care. And I interview leadership from companies, and they actually exist, which is wonderful, and talk about what do they do to increase employee engagement and basically create a workplace where people want to come to work instead of going on a picnic.
I think that the purpose of your podcast is amazing. I hope that the listening audience is growing at leaps and bounds. I'm sure with somebody at the helm like yourself, I know it's going to get there if it's working its way there. Are you excited about it? Do you love opening up the mic and sharing with the audience?
You know, if you had asked me 5 months before I started this podcast last May if I was going to have a podcast, I would have looked at you and said, "What?"
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
I won't go into the story about how I got to you, but I love it and I do it really well and people love being a part of it. I mean, it's just really a passion, but as you know, Doug, it's, the most expensive and time consuming hobby I have.
It can be, but you actually developed a business as a result of doing it. You want to share a little bit about that, or is it too early in the equation to do it?
Well, no, because I'm just launching it this month with my guests who've already been on, because I'm only going to take 6 clients. That's to begin with.
Right.
But it's called Your Corporate Podcast. And thank you for this opportunity. And I'm going to work with companies to create their own internal podcast. And the idea of the podcast is to engage, inform, and celebrate. So I have all kinds of ideas of what this could be like, but every company is going to be a little different, right?
Of course.
If they have an employee engagement idea already going on, incentive program, they may want to do that. They may want to talk about a new policy that they have that everybody needs to get used to. I want to interview leadership, not about how they got their job, but what's their favorite movie and what kind of music do they like to listen to and where would they like to travel and things like that, and make them human. Because again, I'm a very research-based person, and research shows that when people work for somebody in leadership that they feel a connection with, not like they're on some high pedestal somewhere,
right.
They work better for them because now they feel like they're working with them.
It sounds like such an interesting, almost like a season of podcast episodes for a specific company, rather than maybe it will continue indefinitely, but it sounds like it's a great idea for like a season of podcasts.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I'm talking to somebody on Monday who was the first guest that I talked to about it. It was like, and he came up with all kinds of ideas I never thought of because, like I said, each company is really different. So he has information he'd like to get out to his public. And we're even talking about, because he has a very large Latino population, talking about getting them translated so that they would be able to utilize that. So fun stuff.
No, definitely fun stuff. I want you to take off your podcaster hat for a second and and put back your entrepreneur hat on for just a quick moment. I want to go through this little area of tools, tips, and tricks. I want you to help to put some action items into our Nice Guy community plans for the day. So I'm going to ask you something about tools, tips, and tricks. So is there any piece of technology that you use as a tool on a regular basis that you think would be advantageous for our community to use?
Boomerang.
Okay, tell me what Boomerang is.
Okay, so first of all, I have an email through Google Apps. I forget what it costs to set it up, but it costs $50 a year to keep it, and I have a phone number to call Google.
Okay.
That is worth $50 a year.
Okay. Wait, is that Boomerang or is that something else?
No, that I have to have that to have Boomerang, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
You might be able to use it on Gmail too. I'm not sure. But here's Boomerang. Boomerang is, I get an email from Doug, and it's about, you're telling me about something for next week. I can boomerang it to next week. Now it's out of my inbox. It'll come back when it needs to be. I just got an email that I need to renew my dues in 2 months. So I boomerang it. and then it comes back to me.
How does it give? Is there like a little widget, a little plug-in that just says Boomerang? How long until you want it to come back?
Yeah, so it says exactly. I can specify. It has some choices, or you can specify the date and time you want it to come back.
All right.
In addition, it allows me to write an email now and send it out at a specific date and time that I tell it.
Oh, that's good too.
So when I'm doing all my podcasts and I want people to know when it's going live, I can do that months in advance.
I wish I could just keep up on my email enough to be able to be ahead of my email.
Or here's another thing it does.
Uh-huh.
I send you, Doug, I want to tell you about your corporate podcast. And I want to remember if you even respond. So I can say to Boomerang, let me know in a week if Doug doesn't respond.
Oh, that's really good. So it's actually a little bit of a customer relationship management software program as well.
It's fabulous. So it saves me because I have no memory unless it's written down.
Yeah.
So it saves me. In fact, a lot of time I got to go into my Boomerang inbox or outbox to remember if I did that.
Yeah. Hey, Julianne, are you an inbox zero kind of person? Do you like to have zero emails in your inbox?
No, because I like to keep all mine, but I just want them all to be starred, which means I dealt with them.
Right. Agreed. All right.
And every once in a while, that's a late night. I'm going to do this, 3 pages.
Do you keep, are you a to-do list keeper?
Yeah, I like making a list. In fact, I was going through one today. In my perfect world, I would have 3 things to do every day that I know I can get done, and then others. And I do them. Most of the time what I do is I start a list because I'm thinking of things all during the day. So I'm actually a pen and ink person. I have a pad of paper in a central spot.
Yeah.
And every time I think of something, and then I go through and I make sure I cross it out. And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you feel there's a huge level of accomplishment when you're able to go through your task list and actually see a whole bunch of stuff that's checked off. I just recently started. It's only been 2 years that Strickland's been telling me, my co-host, been telling me about OneNote. But I took everything off. I don't write down any paper now. For the last week or so, I have not written one task on paper. I go to OneNote in my computer and I type out I have tasks list and I put the little check mark. And on my cell phone, on my iPhone, I have a task, the same task list because it follows you from one to the other. So fortunately, it's been working. I'm actually looking at and I don't throw the list away just when I get, so I can see over the last week, how many things I've done, how I've done it. I'm like, this is pretty awesome. This is good.
But there's a piece that people miss in that. And I want to talk about that for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
That's celebration. So people have their checklists and they check it off and no big deal. No, we need to celebrate. So many times, I just do a little happy dance around my house, which is probably why I live alone. But,
Maybe so. Well, also, you got all these 4 foot by 4 foot pictures. I don't think there's any more room for anybody to move around in your house.
Yes, there is for a short period of time.
We got to get you a man or a woman. I don't know. But we got to get you somebody in your life, don't we? Or no? Do you not need?
Yeah, we could get a man in my life. That
Julianne,
would be nice.
do you need someone to complete you?
No. That's why I don't have a man in my life, I think.
Yeah, it's probably true. I don't have a man in my life either. I think I need one. Maybe so. Hey,
I don't need to be completed. I just need someone to, love and have fun with.
Yeah, I get it.
I guess that's not enough.
No, probably sex every once in a while would be good too.
Oh, that's good. That's high on my list.
That would be high on my list also.
Okay, good.
Let's move on to an action item. Speaking of sex, let's move on to an action item, Julianne.
Have sex every morning and the rest of the day is gravy.
You're right. You're in a happy mood. Well, there is your pre-work. It's done right.
I need more pre-work.
Me too. We all need a little bit more pre-work done. Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to go into any of these other questions I've gotten written down. It's fine. Hey, you have your phone anywhere near you?
I do not.
You do not. All right. Well,
room.
we'll make it easy because I'm sure you know this. Do you have an iPhone or something inferior?
No judgment there.
No, none at all.
I have an iPhone.
Yes, thank you. Do you have a new one or an older one?
I have an older one.
Nice.
Don't judge me.
No, I don't judge you. I don't judge you.
I have a Mac and an iPad.
Yeah, you definitely. I know. I thought you were an Apple person. I thought I remember seeing you at the.
I never was until that darn Microsoft wanted me to go to 10.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if I have to learn everything all over again, now's the time.
Truth.
So the funny story is my son's a geek and he goes, Mom, just get a Mac, just get a Mac. And he pushed me all to Apple and now he's become a certified Microsoft person.
Oh, that's no good. Hey, let's make a little scenario here. You get an invitation in the mail and it's to a really nice party that you are so excited to be able to be invited to. At the bottom left-hand corner is a dress code, as they are so often put on invitations nowadays. What would be the ideal dress code for you to see on that invitation?
Come as you are.
How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, you were wearing a rock and roll T-shirt when we started this interview.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, something like that. A peace, love, and war, or peace, love, and no war.
Love and rock and roll.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we had said. Julianne, if somebody in our community wanted to get a hold of you to either find out a little bit more about what you do or how to bring you into their organization for your podcast program or anything that you do, how can they do that?
Well, they can call me at 724-942-0486 or go to my website and there's a contact page there at JulieAnnSullivan.com and it's JulieAnnSullivan.com. Or you can write me at Julianne@JulianneSullivan.com. I'm on Twitter at JAS@LNE. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
You are
find
everywhere.
Me. If you want me, you can find me.
We've heard that about you. All of that information, how to get in touch with Julianne, will be in our show notes. I know we had a couple of little technical dropouts as she was saying it, so just know that all of the information to get to Julianne will be right in our show notes. So, Julianne, thank you. I hope that this experience was everything that you thought it was going to be before you got here.
It was a blast. I always love talking to you. I love this show. Every time I listen to it, I laugh my ass off.
That is very cool. And that's what we're looking for, more assless people in the world. So we are good.
That's your goal. I love that.
That is totally our goal. More assless people in the world.
All asses everywhere from listening to the Nice Guys podcast.
Julianne, thank you so much for being on the show. I so appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you being here and thanks for some great information.
My pleasure.
Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Julianne Sullivan for being on the show. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
Thanks for listening to the Nice Guys on Business. Please go to patreon.com/niceguys. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help support this show. You remember that thing down in Panama, right? Come on. You owe them.
Why did you make all my notes blue?
I didn't make them blue. It meant I was selecting them so I could cut and paste them into my here.
My notes are blue.
Are they not blue anymore now?
No, they're not blue anymore. Thank you.
As long as you're happy.
Thank you.
Are we ready?
I'm happy. I've been ready. I've been waiting for you.
She does coaching and shit like everybody
And Stalks
else.
Doug.
And what?
Mm-hmm. And Stalks Doug. Please tell us how we found you so we can thank them. Stalking Doug. That was her answer to that question.